You hear that? Can you hear it, Scott? You know what
Oh,
that
dude,
is?
nothing gets me pumped up like this right here.
Like this song that you can definitely
This
hear.
so I love this song so much.
Right. How you feeling?
I've been better, but we're here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We are here for week 5 of the Other League podcast. We're back with another episode. We're doing pretty good about getting these out on a regular basis now. I feel like we're getting into our rhythm.
Yeah, I think so. Apologies to all my fans who I let down last week by not being able to make it. But y'all had a special guest appearance by a way cooler guy and a new dad.
Yeah. So congratulations to Wesley, and that's actually a great reason for us to cheers. What you got
Cheers
there,
to
Scooty?
cheers. I got a dos Equis, the lager.
Nice. I have no beer in the fridge, so I'm cleaning out the liquor cabinet with some Reposado.
Oh, fancy.
Fancy
Again,
schmancy.
congrats to you, Wesley.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers and congratulations, Wesley, on the birth of your daughter. Congratulations. I'm sure you're going to be a great dad. And if you're not, she has a great mom. So hopefully take and pick up the slack. All right. So, Scott, we've got a rock solid show lined up this week. We're going to go through the current standings and the East West win totals, keep that rivalry going. We're going to look through the power rankings and see how they've changed since draft day. We're going to talk about some big injuries that happened over the weekend. Got to get through our parlay shame for those legs that didn't hit. We're going to talk about some trades because one team in particular in this league has been very active on the trade block. And then we are going to talk about some waivers and then a big week 5 preview with a special news segment for Thursday Night Football, the podcast parlay, where Scott and I have both picked our best bets. We're going to parlay them together and see if we can make you guys some money. Now, Scott, what I didn't mention to you is that I have a couple of surprises planned for us. Our first one, I'm going to show you right now.
I love surprises.
Yeah, I think you're going to enjoy this one. All right, check this out.
Cheers from Greece.
Look at that. Crisp and refreshing.
I mean, who was that?
It's a little grainy, and I'm going to chalk that
Yeah.
up to the international cell phone plans. But that is our very own Nick Gravely, our newcomer,
Okay.
making good on his low score chug from early on this season.
Was that from week one, Chuck?
I believe that was a week 1 low score
Wow.
chug.
Respect to the new guy. Respect.
Yeah, so he's the first one to cash in on it, to make good on it. I did reach out to Wesley, our low scorer for this week, and he said that he was a little occupied, still in the hospital. So we're gonna cut him some slack on that, but not too
Oh,
much slack.
no, not too much. Not too much at all.
All right, Scott, you ready to go through some standings? Let's take a look at the East-West divisional rivalry here and see who's doing what. In wins, we have one team in the West that is still the only undefeated team. Wesley's team in the East went down last week, down to 3-1. So your very own Toast Tankers here, 4-0, sitting at the top of the charts. How's that make you feel?
It's I I still think there's regression to the mean coming. Hand up, I do. But you can't deny the performance on the field, though. Playoff odds up to 75%. The next closest person in the West Division is myself, sitting at 45%. So I would say firmly that you're in the driver's seat.
For now, yeah. So we've got two teams at 500 sitting at 2-2. It's Scott's Power as well as CJ's Just Win Baby run by Christopher Glennon. And then we actually have the two worst teams. We have two 0-4 teams. That would be the teams of Pat Dragon and Alex Orbeck, bringing up the rear. Over in the East, we have some parity. We've got three teams sitting at 3-1. That would be Wesley, Nick Gravely, and Corey Eller. And then at 2-2, a 500 team and Alex Dragon. So Baby Dragon sitting at playing some even 500 ball. And then Gavin getting a win over Alex Orbeck. So he's at 1-3. So not a single team in the East has been totally skunked, but also no one's undefeated. The West is a little bit more spread out.
Interesting to note, real quick, Gavin's playoff percentage odds 20% at 1-3 versus Glennon's at 2-2, 17%. So just kind of fun looking at the numbers. The top four, so one, two, three, and four. Top number one is 66% playoff odds. Number four is 50% playoff odds. So the bunching is really is a real thing there.
Yeah, bunching at the top, and that team that you were talking about with 50% playoff odds at 3-1, that is Sweet Mahomes, Alabama, managed by none other than our very own Corey
Oh,
Eller, who joins us now live. Scott, it's another surprise on the
another
podcast.
surprise. All right.
Check it
Hey,
out.
buddy.
What's up?
Welcome.
Can y'all
Uh,
hear me?
yeah, we
No.
Yeah.
got you. We got you.
Yeah.
And the best part is, I did not tell Scott at all that you were
That's
joining us on the pod. I was rifling through text messages on my phone. And Corey, why are you joining us?
yeah. Cheers, buddy.
Well, I mean, one, because I guess I'm just so awesome, but also because I was the week one low man on the totem pole. So I figured I got somebody that gave me some McAllen. I figured it'd be a good time to I
Wow.
didn't couldn't find my shot glasses, so we're just gonna be double shotting it out of a glass. But this is also to call out everybody else in the league to
Anybody
be
in particular?
ready.
Is there anybody in particular that you're
You
talking
know
about
what?
there?
I'm not going to name any names,
Okay.
but we're to each their own. But we'll
Yeah.
so we'll do that. I guess we'll go for it.
Yeah.
Discounts.
Oh yeah. Safety board. Oh, I could tell.
That's good stuff, though.
Yeah, I must say you broke out the good
Yeah,
stuff to pay off
Yeah.
your low score bet.
somebody. Well, I figured if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. Somebody actually gave this to me uh last week, and so I was like, he came in and was like, "Hey, is anybody like a Scotch whiskey drinker?" And I was like, "I like Scotch and I like whiskey. Like, what are we talking?" And he goes, "Come out to my car." I was like, "All right." Pulls out that bottle of Macallan 12, and I'm like, okay, appreciate
Yes,
it."
please.
Yeah,
Yes,
Like,
please.
it's definitely stolen, right? Like he robbed a liquor
yeah,
store for sure.
yeah. Well, he said that somebody gave it to him. I think trying to impress him. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
somebody
well, it's
somebody
impressing me.
gave it
So
to him at gunpoint, but we don't have to worry about that anymore.
no,
You
yeah.
you handled that shot way better than you handled the hot wings. It's impressive.
Dude, hey, don't. I already said I'd quit the league again if I had to do that. I would go off the face of the earth.
Oh
That
man.
was, I wouldn't wish that upon like my worst enemy.
Yeah. All
So,
right. So a quick clarification, because Scott and I actually played the video that Nick Gravely sent us of him making good on his. It was week two. Nick Gravely
Two.
was
Yeah.
the low
yeah,
score.
Yeah.
Nick Gravely was our week two low score with, I believe it was 92 points. Yep, 92.3. And so you're the second one to make good on it now
there we go.
with your week one score of 84.68. We are still waiting for, it appears, Alex
Just
Orbeck had put up an 82 that he owes us for. And then
Oof.
last week, it was unfortunately our newest dad in the group, Wesley Fall, who put up a low score of the week at 106. Still in triple
Oh,
digits, but low score of the week.
that's tough.
Well, Corey, you're more than welcome to stay on with us and chime in all you want. Is your kiddo all the way down for bed? You feel like you got some time to yourself?
we're good. We're good.
You got the monitor going. You're ready.
We still go to the monitor, not that we need it all that much. But Wesley will find out soon enough.
Yeah, for the guys in the league who aren't familiar, tell us real quick about your son. How old is your kiddo, and tell us about
Uh,
him.
No, the spawn is 3.5, and I say spawn because he's a spitting image, unfortunately for my wife. But he's 3.5, man, and he is hell on wheels, as some of the other guys in the league know. I believe we have a few with kids around that age, so
What
he's all about it. But he loves baseball, so
yeah, that's what, yeah. I was gonna ask what phase is he in? What's his big thing
he's
right now?
we're baseball, and he's slowly but surely listening to me playing golf. So
Okay.
There we go.
we're getting there, but like he doesn't want me to help. So we're in that stage of like, no, I can do it myself, and I'm like, no, because well, I'm like I'm a perfectionist when it comes to golf and baseball. So I'm like, let me help you.
Yeah.
Doesn't work out.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, congrats. I'm glad that you got some free time on your single dad week here where you could join us. hang out with the boys. We were just talking about the East and West win totals and how the East is dominating right now with 12 total wins to the West Division's 8. So the Eastern Division is really showing out early in the year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I had to be on here to actually represent the East for that.
Don't worry, there's no
So,
trophy. You don't have to accept anything. Yeah.
I mean, I will. I
Yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah. Full acceptance speech, like it's the
But
Oscars.
but I mean, to go on that, it's still early. I mean, if you look at the rosters for some of y'all in the West, though, like it's can be scary because that switch can flip real fast. And
Yeah,
so, like, only 4 weeks in. So, I mean, still a lot
especially
left.
especially when Pat Dragon changes his roster entirely in one day. Speaking of those rankings of those teams, Scott, you want to walk us through the power rankings real fast and see how they've changed since draft day?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be remiss not to acknowledge the big mover of the group going from the 10 spot all the way to the first spot. Yours truly, Toast Tankers.
Let's go. So much for tanking. This was not part of the plan.
I thought the name Tankers was you were tanking. I thought that was I still.
Well, not only that, but it was for Tank Bigsby, who apparently got shipped to Philly and doesn't play football anymore.
Yeah, he's done for. Also, you got to recognize the new guy, the TD fielders coming in, jumping from the 8 spot to the 3 spot. Not a great keeper team, but I mean, he's done the most with what he's had. And I mean, it kind of looks like a wagon right now, to be honest.
Literally dragged the previous owner of that team in the group text while he was still in it.
Yeah. So that was looking at the good to look at the bad. I'll start with myself dropping from the 1 spot to the 6 spot. My sleepers have not performed. I don't know if I'm starting or keepers. I mean, I don't know if I'm starting a single keeper. And then the other two rosters that I like the most, Orbs Rage Against the HN drops from the 2 to a 9 spot. Tough. His team is looking just I don't know how they're gonna dig out of that hole. And then what is it? Chuba Chuba Choo Choo, the best team.
The newly rebranded Chubba Chubba Choo Choo.
I hadn't seen that when we were getting ready for this. I just started dying out laughing. But a tough drop from him going from the 3 to the 10 spot. Um, so yeah, I mean, obviously, as we just looked at the standings, the power rankings are obviously showing that the West is having a pretty bad fall, while the East is jumping up and climbing outside of you, Toph.
Yeah. So some things that might affect those power rankings. We had two major injuries that occurred over this past week. The first one being Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors' knee just exploding as he was decelerating and trying to jump and take off and try to catch another ball. And that was Alex Dragon's first round keeper. So he's going to have to adjust there to pivot away from Malik Neighbors. And the second one happened in the Monday night doubleheader. It was Tyreek Hill out for the season with all kinds of knee issues as well. I don't know if you guys did anyone see the photo or see the video of it? Were you guys watching it live as it
It
happened?
I
was
I had
disgusting.
like just stepped away. I didn't, so I was watching it, but I had just like stepped in the other room and came back and then saw that I saw him on the cart and I was like, oh no. Was like waiting for the group to pop
Pop
off and
off.
then I think Wesley sent the picture and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So
It was a
Wesley's
dislocated knee. Dislocated knee.
Yeah, it was wild. Wesley sending that picture was how I found out about it. I was filling in a men's softball game down in Denver, and I'm just in the dugout, like in between innings, and I just pull it up because everyone's streaming the Broncos game. And as I pull it up, I'm like, just like, I was like, I can't see this stuff. I was like, does anyone want to see it? And everyone in the dugout was like, absolutely not. Turn that
No.
shit off.
It was absolutely disgusting. Like his leg looked like it was turned around.
I
Like it
And
can't
then,
was
I can't look at that stuff. Ever since the pro throw injury for
oh my
yeah,
Bama,
God.
ever
yeah,
since
Uh,
seeing that, I can't do it.
did you see him being carted off?
yeah.
No.
All smiles. Like,
He was all
could
smiles, giving thumbs up. He was like,
it,
yes. And
he couldn't have been happier. It was like he was like, I don't have to play for this team anymore. I mean, he was having the best time of all time.
oh,
And I'm like, That's why I was like, what happened? And then I see his knee. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
The
Like,
the
whoa.
memes were rolling with that
Yeah.
because he was yelling yes, and they're like when he found out that he had to wasn't having to have Tua throw to him anymore.
Yeah.
Like it was going crazy.
It'll be interesting to see what the rest of his career looks like, because coming back from that looks like it's going to be a monumental task. But also,
That's the
Tyreek is kind of like an alien anyway. He's not built like a normal human.
But for like your not his entire game, but like he's a speed guy and now like every ligament in his entire leg is destroyed. It will be interesting. I thought about that too.
Yeah. All right, let's go through. Speaking of recapping last week, let's go through some of these parlay legs that were submitted, and let's dish out some shame as need be. So I'll tell you what, since we have our special guest Corey Eller on, Corey, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna read out all the ones that actually hit, and then when we get to the ones that missed, I need you to be the one to issue the shame. All right.
Fair enough.
So we actually hit on 5 of our 10 legs. So we're batting 500.
Yeah.
That's solid. That's a major improvement from previous weeks. So the ones that hit: Roma Dunze 4+ receptions, Ashton Genty 50+ yards. If I remember right, that would be Gavin and Christopher Glennon. Both hit on those. That would have cashed a same game parlay at -135. Saquon and Bucky Irving both scored anytime touchdowns. That would have cashed on a +280 same game parlay. That one was Patrick Dragon, and then Bucky Irving was a default from Nick Gravely because he was unavailable, which I now understand is because he was traveling internationally. And then the other one that hit was Puka Nakua, anytime touchdown score. You can really bet anything Puka and it's going to hit. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully, honestly, if the Malik Neighbors could have happened to any team, luckily in our league, it happened to Alex Dragon, who also has Puka Nakua, who is wide receiver one. So still holding strong at the wide receiver position. So now, how about some shame issued out for Jackson Dart over 1.5 passing touchdowns for Wesley Fall?
Shame.
Amari and
So
Hampton. No,
so good.
it's so good. I had to take a second. I wasn't ready for
I
it.
don't know.
All right.
I think you could take that like if it were any type of touchdown, like any TD, but passing
Yeah.
touchdowns, it's gonna be tough.
Jawan Johnson over 4.5 receptions. This one's for me.
Shame.
Oh God, it hurts. Brian Thomas, anytime touchdown scorer. That was for Alex Orbeck.
Shame.
Ooh, subtle. And then the last one, oh no, Jonathan Taylor over 87.5 rushing yards.
Shame.
Yeah, that one is self-imposed shame for you.
God.
And then the last one we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Somebody in our league took an under on his
I,
elite
I
player.
was gonna double shame
No.
myself.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Omari and Hampton under 69.5 rushing yards.
Shame.
double shame. I was trying to do something different than I was doing something I was running around. I just wanted to do something other than the anytime touchdown score because I just feel like that's so lame. And then I bet it and I was like, who the fuck bets the under? What a bitch. So I deserve
But
that.
All right, some well-deserved shame being dished out in our league. Let's talk about trades, and by trades, I mean let's talk about Pat Dragon's team because he's been so active on the trade block. Um, so first one that occurred was actually really unfortunate timing. Tyreek Hill for Brees Hall. So Pat Dragon ships away Brees Hall to Gavin Gilmore, receives Tyreek Hill in return, and only gets a portion of a game out of him before he ends his season. Brees Hall now shaping up to be a really solid pickup for Gavin now that Braylon Allen is not in the picture.
Yeah, that was kind of like okay, you made a move.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have any strong feelings about that. I think Wesley and I broke that down last week in the podcast,
mhm.
and it seemed like it was a decent swap, just wide receiver for running back, seemed pretty even. Another one that happened. This is after last weekend's football action. We had Nico Collins and Saquon being traded to our very own special podcast guest Corey Eller for Jamar and Chuba. Talk us through it, Corey.
I mean, honestly, I saw somebody that was wounded and tried to see what I could come up with that was like I felt like was pretty even. Obviously, Saquon is Saquon, but Jamar Chase he needs to get the ball. Like he has the potential, he just doesn't have a quarterback. So I saw it as an opportunity to gain another running back and a Nico Collins and send off Chuba, who's a number one. He just unfortunately plays in Carolina.
Yeah.
So it just like he's going to get the touches. And I mean, even Pat said it in the group meet that he felt like he lost that, but he needed to change something up. To which, in a league that is not this one that I am in, I have Saquon.
Are you saying
So
that you have Saquon in?
What are you saying?
in a
Yeah.
much different league
Okay.
than this
In
one.
an alternate
Yeah, in an
league.
alternate universe league. And so like for me, it was he was like, "Hey, fire sale." So like, I tried to come up with something that I feel like Jamar Chase was my second pick overall. Saquon was number three, and then Chuba actually has some keeper value. I believe in the sixth round or something like that next year. Nico Collins is in the fifth, so we kind of almost just swapped. And then I lose a round with Nico Collins, and that's about it. But we'll see how it pans out. I'm hoping Philly can learn how to run the ball and no more tush push, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna milk the tush push as much as they can because there's no way it's gonna stick
As they
around.
should. As
Yeah.
they should.
So you want to talk about trading with Pat while he's down bad? I was actually at the bar with Pat. I had some time to kill last night because I was up in Westminster and then I had a softball game at like 8:15. So I had like 3 hours to kill between work and that. And Pat and Chelsea just moved to a place up near where I work. So I texted Pat to see if he wanted to hang out. And sure enough, he wanted to watch the Red Sox Yankees game. So we go to a really cool bar. We check it out. And we're sitting there in between innings and we're talking about fantasy football. And Pat is looking at me like, dude, I need a tight end. just just straight up like I need
Yeah.
it. Like he was just jonesing for a tight end that and this is all because Tucker Kraft, his tight end, who's top 10, is on bye and Pat
Yep.
is trying to salvage the season. So I told him I was like, I'm happy to trade Juwan Johnson. He was a free agent pickup, and he said, well, Tucker Kraft was free agent too. So it just kind of worked
Yep.
out where it was kind of a 1-for-1 where I'm just going to eat Tucker Kraft's bye week, and he gets Juwan Johnson to try and get a win. So they're both top 10 this year. I think Tucker Kraft has better name value than Juwan Johnson, but when you
Yep.
look at the numbers, it was kind of just a swap where I'm 4-0 and can afford a bye week. So it just worked out that way.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I mean it's just with Green Bay's offense, I feel like any given week it's somebody's turn to pop off.
Yeah.
I don't think you can consistently rely on him to be like tight end one like he was, a couple of weeks ago. But I think he's still going to get his for sure, and the keeper value is insane.
No, no. If you try to play the guessing game, you're always going to choose wrong. For some reason, offensive coordinators
Yeah.
just know that fantasy players are always going to try and guess.
Well, and tight ends are so weird this year again. It feels like we say that every year, but it just like there's like one or two that will stand out, and then the rest are just like I mean, hell, I had TJ Hawkinson, who I was like, yeah, he's gonna be great. And then McCarthy goes down. It's just
Yeah,
it's a revolving door at this point. So, I mean, hell, I picked up Darren Waller. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is the one year where like I don't think any of our top drafted tight ends, like Brock Bowers has been consistent, but not Brock Bowers level,
no,
not top three at the position level like you were hoping for. Trey McBride has lived up to expectations, but he's kind of it. Kittle went down with injury, and then Kelsey obviously is not the big name that he used to be. That offense is
no.
beyond broken with their deep threats out.
I
So
do I do think Brock's going to come back. I think he's playing through an injury right now. I mean, he got hurt week one, and then it's just not been the same. He had a big week one, and it's just not been the same since.
yeah, and so I mean, not a single one of us predicted Jake Ferguson tight end one, right? Not a single one of us did. Like, I was the highest one on this league on Dak, and I still was like, no, I don't want anything to do with Jake Ferguson. So yeah, tight end's been weird.
Yep.
All right. We can talk through waivers super fast. There were hardly any transactions. You spent $5 each on both Darren Waller and the Cardinals defense, Corey. So you actually did pick up another free agent tight end who has made his debut with Miami. And is you're thinking now that Tyreek's gone, someone's got to catch those targets?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of everything I'm seeing is that like that's kind of how McDaniels likes to go too. When he loses a top wide receiver, I mean, I couldn't tell you who else they have besides Waddle, and so who else is going to get the ball? And obviously Waller, came out of retirement last year, and so I'm hoping it seems like he's seeing the targets in that first week that he was there, but we'll see. I couldn't rely on TJ Hawkinson anymore. I just
Yeah, not without
Carson
JJ.
Wentz. Carson Wentz. I couldn't even rely on with JJ. And TJ's actually. I mean, he was getting garbage time yards, and so I needed something, and so we'll take a chance, and maybe a revolving door of that's where my budget goes this year, but we'll see.
All right, let's get into the week 5 preview. Our bye weeks have officially begun. Some of us are in bye week hell already. I can definitely speak for myself on that one. Scott, tell us about the matchup between Alex Dragon and Christopher Glennon.
Yeah, week one or week five, first look. Dragging these footballs projected at 126.6 versus Just Win Baby Christopher Glenn projected for 87.1. So I think the main story here is there's some work to be done by one of our fantasy owners who currently has two players starting on a bye, and one that I think might be questionable. So if I have to take a guess here, I'm going to lean heavily towards or Alex Dragon until something happens there with that. So nothing really of note outside of that.
Yeah. Our next matchup, I'm going to break down Nick Gravely versus our very own Corey Eller here on the podcast. So this one's actually projected pretty close. Corey, you're projected at 130. Nick Gravely projected at 129. If I'm looking here at the matchup, it looks like the highest projected players are going to be Josh Allen and Justin Fields for Nick Gravely going up against your Jonathan Taylor and newly acquired Saquon Barkley. How you feeling about this matchup?
I felt good before he put everybody in off of bye because he was at like 100 projected, but I don't know. We'll see. Nico Collins is questionable, and Darren Waller. I think it was just a kind of a Wednesday off day, hamstrings and stuff like that. But I don't know. Nick's team kind of scares me a little bit, even with the bye weeks. I mean, dude put up like 165 points last week, and he's been doing that week after week. It seems like, except for week 2.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't. Hopefully, my team shows up. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, he's built a good team. And those players on bye for his team, he's got Josh Jacobs, DJ Moore, and DeAndre Swift. So Green Bay and Chicago, two of the more prominent teams on bye this week. Scott, tell me a little bit about my matchup with Alex Orbeck.
Yeah, we got the 0-4 Rage against the A-Chain, Alex Orbeck against the 4-0 Toast Tankers, Christopher Evans.
Woo!
107.8 versus 104.8 projection. That is just kind of sad. Um,
It's not sad. It's a bye week hell for me.
at least you have an excuse in that, because you have three players, four players: Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Caleb Williams, and Tucker Kraft all
I,
on a bye.
I acquired a player on a bye, so
You acquired a player. Yeah,
I
you
know what I'm getting
intentionally,
into.
yeah, you intentionally did that. So, I mean, for all of us out here on the West Coast, I think we're all praying and hoping that Orb can pull one out, and finally get that first dub and knock you down, off of your 4-game win streak.
Why is I feel like this is what happens every time that we play games, like when we play Mario Party, is just I somehow make myself the villain that everyone decides to gang up against.
Mario Party, you just have an enemy in Mario Party for no reason. We don't need to get into that, but for no fault of your own. It just
You guys just decided that I was never allowed to win Mario Party, and it
there
drives
was
me insane.
there was no you got. I thought the closest I ever thought I was going to see you and to get into a fight was like a month or two ago.
Yeah,
Playing
it might still happen if we play again. All right.
Everybody hates you when you're at the top, Toph.
I know heavy is the head that wears the
Yeah,
crown.
Yeah.
there you go.
All right. So next matchup here, we're going to talk about Scott Sharp facing Gavin Gilmore. Scott, you're sitting at 2-2, playing 500 ball. Gavin now at 1-3. Your bye weeks that you're facing up against, Gavin is the only one that has some buys he's got to work with. He's got DK Metcalf, Brandon McManus, and Roma Dunze is probably his biggest one on bye. So you are currently projected at 130, and he's projected at 132, and he's mainly carried by Jahmyr Gibbs and Brees Hall, both running backs with huge projections this week. Scott, tell us a little bit about our last matchup as we have a few minutes to go here. Wrap us up with Pat versus Wesley, and then we'll get into our special segment for Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, I think this is where I saw Pat's name, Chuba Chuba Choo Choo, 0-4 in the West versus brought away to the finals, 3-1 Wesley. Fall, I don't even recognize the team that Pat Dragon, again, number two in the power rankings after the draft, is fielding at this point in time. Uh, some good, some bad. Jamar Chase, you have to like it. But looking at it, he is projected to win at the moment 122.6 to 117.4 by Wesley. I don't see any no buys of note. Pat chose to keep a kicker on his bench. That's on a bye, but that's
Interesting
about
choice. Interesting
yeah,
choice in a league with very limited bench spots.
yeah. So yeah, that's about the end of note. Pat Pat trying to turn the tides and try to get on the board and get that first dub of the year.
All right. Let's talk Thursday night podcast
I
parlay.
lied. I did lie. Wesley has one bye that he's currently starting. It's a Falcons defense, so maybe he'll see that and tighten up the projections a little bit. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, good reminder. He's busy.
He is.
We can remind him,
I think if a baby bringing a new human being into the world might be a good reason for that.
I guess it's a decent excuse.
Yeah, I mean, no excuses.
Yeah, Corey Eller's going to be our enforcer. He's going to be our enforcer in this league. He's going to hold
Hey,
everyone accountable.
You see the cup? You see the cup? There's a hockey puck in it. All right.
Yeah, man, that's what you're here for. You're tough as nails. All right, let's talk Thursday Night Football. We're going to do the podcast parlay. This is a fun segment that we're trying out. Scott and I both picked legs to a parlay that we're going to take. I am looking at the 49ers going up against the Rams. The 49ers are now, so when I first looked at this, they were 7-point underdogs. Now they are 7.5-point underdogs going in with a backup quarterback in Mac Jones. I think my leg for the podcast parlay is going to be Jake Tonjes, the tight end for San Francisco with 30 plus receiving yards. That's at plus money. It's plus 128. I think Mac Jones has got to fire that ball to somebody other than Christian McCaffrey. So I think Jake Tonjes 30 plus receiving gets my vote for the podcast parlay. Scott, what you got?
I actually did two. So I did do the Christian McCaffrey over 121.5 rushing and receiving. That was the one I was biggest on. Just so you guys know that what we try to do is keep this in the positive and not like a negative bet. That one I think ended up being negative. I can't remember what it
That
was
one
at,
was
but
close. That one ended up it's minus 114. So it's
114, yeah.
almost, yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost positive, but not quite.
But I just figure, I mean, with the offense like it is, Christian's going to get his no matter what. But 121.5, 122 feels pretty realistic for him. What I did take that was in the positive was Kyron Williams, 15 plus yards receiving. I think he might break one. I think, I mean, he does it all kind of for that offense. So I think there's a good chance he breaks one or gets a couple and gets a little bubble screen or something and gets a good little chunk game.
All right. So you're going with Kyron Williams, 15 plus. Is that what I
15
heard?
plus. Yeah.
All right.
I did both of those, the Christian and the Kyron.
Oh, you're taking Christian as well. Wow, we got
Yeah,
three legs on this
so I did
parlay.
all three. Yeah, I did all three. Yeah.
All
So
right.
that's $5 to win 45.
All right. There you have it. That's your Thursday Night Football podcast parlay. Corey, thanks for joining us. A special guest on the podcast. I'm glad you're able to stick around and hang out. So we've now cashed in on 2 of our 4 low score weekly beer bets. So looking forward to Wesley cashing in on his and Alex Warbeck making excuses to avoid his as long as possible.
It's not even an excuse. It's just utter refusal.
Hey, just do everything live like I've done so far. I did the
Yeah.
hot wings during the draft. I did the shots live. I mean, come on. It gives a
Respect.
reason.
Yeah. All right. Well, worst case scenario, we at least got to hang out with you for the hour. So, Corey, thanks again for joining us. Cheers to
I
you.
don't got much left, but
Cheers to your son. Glad he's picking up on 2 really good sports that he can follow in his dad's footsteps. Just make sure he doesn't pick up hockey later in life like you did.
yeah. I don't know how if we're gonna pick that one up. Dad's not that good, so I can't teach it.
Also, hockey's an expensive sport to be in when you're young because you're outgrowing all that equipment all the time.
Yes. So I've learned it just from me playing it over the past 8 years. So it's not cheap.
Yeah.
But
all right. Well, you know what is cheap? this victory I'm about to get against Alex Orbeck while I'm in bye week hell. So with that being said, peace out, everyone. Best of luck to everyone except for Alex Orbeck.
And Gavin, for sure.
Eh, I'll let Nick slide on this one, being the new guy, but I
Well,
hope he loses.
God, you're too nice. You're too people in
It's
the East.
East, man. You keep
I
putting us
know.
against like we're playing our own guys. It's tough, you know. It's you want to see them succeed, but you also want them to lose. So it makes it a little tougher.
All right, whatever. Well, I hate it. West Division, best division. I'll see y'all next time.